Hi all, we're going to have a look now at Kasparov versus Hjartarson, round 6 of the Tilburg 1989 tournament. Kasparov playing white played d4 and Hjartarson played knight f6, and after knight f3 black now played d5, so fairly solid so far. After c4 e6 was played, and now after knight c3 Hjartarson chose a kind of Queen's Gambit accepted, a delayed version of it. Kasparov now played e4, and after bishop b4 we have a kind of mixture now of the Nimzo-Indian strategies of doubling pawns combined with the Queen's Gambit accepted. It's a sharp variation which has been played many times before. Kasparov chose now bishop g5, and after c5 played bishop takes c4. Black is quickly striking at the centre with this c5, and now c takes d4. White now has to play something like knight takes d4, because queen takes d4, black could just exchange queens and play knight takes e4, exploiting the pin on c3. So knight takes d4 was played, and black now fractured white's pawn structure, creating an isolated pawn here and here, but giving up that important dark squared bishop. And it's these dark squares which Kasparov soon exploits with his queen, as we'll see. After queen a5, bishop b5 check was played, and after bishop d7 now, bishop takes f6. Now let's have a quick look. If black had played bishop takes b5 here, note that this bishop is pointing to the d8 square, so white can now play knight takes b5, and if queen takes b5, queen d8 will be mate. So in this position, this would mean that black would have to play something like g takes f6, and after rook b1, white ends up better in this kind of variation because of this check, and then queen f3 targeting the f6 square. It's difficult for the black queen to defend the king position here, and let's say king g7, knight d6, white could rapidly increase the advantage in this type of variation with this rook b5, and go for a hack attack even, with the rook transferring to the king side on h5. So this would be crushing for black. Basically this shows that black has to be very careful about the double pawns on f6 and f7. They don't help the king position when black castles. So anyway, in the game, queen a5, bishop b5 check, and after bishop d7, Kasparov played bishop takes f6, and after g takes f6, queen b3 was played. The queen prepares with this elegant manoeuvre later to come to a3, as we'll see. a6, bishop e2, and after knight c6, white simply castles, not worrying about this semi-open g file and the potential for black to attack there. After queen c7, white now targets the b7 pawn. Black now defends this with knight a5. Now this is the opportunity Kasparov takes to land his queen on this sensitive diagonal where the black bishop had previously been exchanged off, making it more vulnerable. After rook c8, Kasparov now sacrificed the c-pawn. I have found another game in the chessworld.net master collection with a position explorer where Judith Polgar lost to Kalifman in round 5 of Las Vegas 1999 tournament, playing the move c4 here. Kalifman was white, so that's another major alternative, is to play c4 instead of sacking the pawn. After queen takes c3, Kasparov now played very aggressively, and an amazing continuation with queen d6. We saw in an earlier variation how these double pawns could be damaging for black's defence of the king. Now this is truly spectacular. After queen c7, Kasparov played an unbelievable move. I'll give you 5 seconds to see if you can spot it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He played knight f5, sacrificing a whole knight with very nice attacking compensation. After e takes, queen takes f6. Hjartarson castled now. With my analytical assistant Ribka, it believes black may be able to hold on actually in this position with rook g8, but it would seem such a strange move for a human to play, to leave the king stranded in the centre. so maybe it wasn't even considered that much. After rook d3, pardon me, so let's have a look. Rook g8, bishop h5 for example, bishop c6, and black might even come on the counter attack here on this g2 pawn. Queen takes f5 say, rook g7, and the black king can evacuate now to g8, and black would even be slightly better here according to Rybka. So this wasn't played. Instead we see a spectacular combinatory attack. After castles, white, now it's almost like a rugby scrum. First of all, the first attacking wave is rook d3, trying to get past the defence. So the rook tries to switch to the g3 square. Black stops that first attack by playing f4. Now, rugby scrum attack 2, rook d5. Black has to defend the g5 square, so he plays h6. Third attack, queen takes h6, threatening rook g5 check again. So black plays f5. Fourth attack with another rook, rook b6, threatening rook g6 check now. I've just not seen anything like this in any other game, with these rooks coming in, trying to infiltrate black's position. After bishop c6, white now spectacularly continued with rook takes a5, because the bishop now has access to the diagonal with bishop c4 check, which would be a crushing check. That is why black didn't take the rook here, because queen takes b6, bishop c4 check, rook f7, queen g6, picking up the rook. Instead Hitotsunen tried queen h7, and after queen takes f4 he realised his position was devastated. We're going to have a look at some reasons why. F takes e4, check, king h8, queen e5 mating. So this is one of the reasons why he resigned here. Rook ce8 is no good because of a check, and rook b3, threatening to swing the rook to g3, rook takes e4, check, and now queen d2, two major threats here, queen c3 check, mating, and also rook h3. Now let's say queen h4, queen c3 check, rook d4, pin, the rook's pinned, and white can just simply play rook h3 here. So in all these variations, there's no defence, according to Rybka. So bishop takes e4, queen g5 check, and rook g6, winning at least black's queen. Black has a harmless check here because bishop d3 can't be played because of rook takes g7 check, and this is taking too long to threaten bishop d3, just rook e5. So it's completely lost in that final position after this rugby-like attack with the rooks coming to try and infiltrate black's king position in several different ways. Quite spectacular, wouldn't you agree? Let's have a quick look in overview and summary of this game. It started off as seemingly a quiet, solid positional opening, but then Kasparov set the position on fire by first sacrificing the c3 pawn coming up with this queen a3, allowing black just to play rook c8 and not bothering with this c pawn to defend it, but instead playing rook fd1, targeting the black king already because of this spectacular idea of knight f5, a beautiful piece sacrifice endangering the king. Rybka seems to think there might have been defence with rook g8, but it seems a very unhuman move to leave the king in the centre. And what we see now is just fireworks. Wonderful. Phase 1, attack 1, rook d1, d3, then rook d5, then rook b6. Incredible sequence of rook attacks, culminating with this rook takes a5, threatening bishop c4 check, and after queen takes f4, black had had enough. A truly spectacular round for Kasparov. So he was definitely leading the tournament at this stage, I would expect, with several wins already in his belt. I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did, and leave any comments please on YouTube. Thanks very much, and see you later.